Let's recap college football in the week that was and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU-related, college football related, sports related, we have a good time. LSU whipped Auburn 23-20 in Baton Rouge. Joe Burrow completed 32 of 42 passes for 321 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Jamar Chase caught 8 passes for 123 yards. Since a loss to Troy on September 30th, 2017, Ed Orgeron's LSU is 24-5 with 8 wins against top 10 opponents. The head coach at Troy then? West Virginia coach Neal Brown, which is as close to beating LSU as the Big 12 is going to get this season. With a 48-41 win against then number 5 Oklahoma, Kansas State is now 4-52 all time against teams ranked in the top 5 of the AP poll, including 3-24 marked at all time. Prior to the OU win, Kansas State's last win against a team ranked inside the top 5 was against number 4 Texas in 2006. It was also the first win at Bill Snyder Family Stadium against Oklahoma since a 42-35 win on October 26, 1996. Jalen Hurts wasn't born until 98. Lincoln probably won't win a national title this year. The only two folks to get handed the keys to a car running cherry like the one he got, to my memory, are Barry Switzer with the Dallas Cowboys and Les Miles at LSU, who need to tell Nick Saban thank you. Both won the big game within a year. Riley is in year 3, and I'm in year 20 of not having a national title. Ohio State beat angry beaver-like Badgers with its nuts 38-7. Heisman wannabe Jonathan Taylor rushed 52 yards on 20 carries after averaging a 137 a game. J.K. Dobbins had 163 yards on the ground, but it was Chase Young making like the ghostly vengeance of Ndamukong Suh with 4 sacks like he came back to get his boys Heisman back. Wisconsin passed for 55 fewer yards than Dobbins rushed for in the loss, which is the most Wisconsin thing to happen since losing to Illinois last week. Alabama beat a middle school team masquerading as an FBS 148-7. Mac Jones looked fine, but seriously, Bama, schedule somebody. Beating FCS teams is beneath you, even when you start the backup quarterback. Keep scheduling San Jose State and North Texas, teams that beat the team that you just played, and your strength of schedule argument is liable to catch up with you. Trevor Lawrence isn't great, but when Brent Venables' defense holds Boston College to just 7, does it really matter that the offense put up 59? Clemson lost the best defensive line in college football last year and has responded by allowing a team to score more than 14 in a game just once, and that was North Carolina. It was 38-7 after the second quarter, and Mac Brown would have caught an Uber during halftime. In a win against Notre Dame, Michigan produced 5 drives of 50 yards or longer. What I'm saying is, Jim Harbaugh's boys had more time on their hands than a watchmaker. And Hassan Haskins still running. Shout out to my man Dax Hill, who had one hell of a game. With the loss to Michigan, Notre Dame's season looks like, a Paris cathedral with the roof ablaze. Penn State beat Michigan State 28-7, and the Nittany Lion defense has now held 7 of its 8 opponents to 13 or fewer points, and Penn State is quietly putting together a resume just good enough to get them skull-dragged against Ohio State just before Thanksgiving. And the Spartans, after losing 38-0 to Alabama in the 2015 college football playoff, Michigan State is only 24-22 overall, with a record under 500 in the Big Ten, 15-17. Florida coach Dan Mullen said he expects Jabari Zuniga and John Grinnard back for the cocktail party with Georgia, which means this might actually be a decent game. Here's hoping Kirby Smart coaches more like the guy who got the Dogs into the playoff in 2017 and less like a pink doughy Super Smash Brothers character this weekend. I would love to see a good game. Oregon beat Washington State 37-35 and still might make sure the Pac-12 doesn't get a team in the playoff for the 3rd straight year. Go Oregon. Utah made like a green rage monster, yanked Cal by its arm and slammed it on the floor until it was unconscious before quietly denouncing it as a puny god. The scoreboard read 35-0, but what's a scoreboard when you post 83 total yards in a football game and just 23 on the ground, Cal? Baylor is the last undefeated team left in the Big 12, which is all Oklahoma's fault. On Halloween, the Bears will probably reenact the movie of the same title against West Virginia. That's a hockey mask joke. Minnesota is 8-0 for the first, after 52-10 curb stomping of Mike Loxley's Maryland, which is also as close to beating Alabama as the Golden Gophers are going to get to this year. Minnesota hasn't been 8-0 since 1941 when it played exactly 8 games and won the national championship. Ain't winning no national championship this year. Auburn is 3-2 in the SEC with losses to LSU and Florida, and we're still talking about this team like it isn't being coached by a man who's likely to be the 34th head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks in 2020. Southern Methodist has clearly been going to church because the Mustangs eked out a 34-31 win at Houston against a backup quarterback and a team intent on tanking. The Pony Excess Unadulterated Righteous Revenge, or PRRR, are 8-0 for the first time since 1982 and have an American showdown with Memphis on Saturday, which I hope ends like an Alexander Hamilton song with 10 paces and pistols at the ready. Cincinnati might end the season with the best quality loss. Yeah, I just used that phrase. 42-0 pistol whipping by Ohio State, for those that didn't look at the schedule, because its remaining schedule is severely high in sugar. The Bearcats have East Carolina, UConn, South Florida, and Temple left, and are 17-3 dating back to 2018, which means Luke Fickell is going to do a hell of a job at Michigan State next year. Boise State still isn't one. Kansas State, shut down the football program now. You have peaked, Wildcats. Go out a winner. Dave Kloss's red shirt or die Demon Deacons are 6-1 and 23-12 over the last 35 games, which is the only stat though I have to keep them warm when Clemson shows up to remind them how this thing called the ACC actually works. Appalachian State is undefeated, ranked, and personified by the bearded, top-hatted, pipe-smoking tweaker named Yosef. They ain't losing a game this year with that dude in their corner. Iowa is the Big Ten's version of Auburn, which is not a compliment. San Diego State is playing football like a fella at the blackjack table on 19 yelling, "Hit me!" and acting totally unsurprised when that deuce hits the table. Memphis is coached by a white man who wore cornrows while playing wide receiver at Central Arkansas, and they've kept that same energy all year long. This is college football. That was the Week 9 recap. I'm having a great time. Deuces.